Welcome everyone to the regular council meeting of Monday, March the 11th, 2024. So members of the public can be present in the council chambers during the meeting. Also, public members can observe the meeting on the City of Trail YouTube website. I'd like to call this meeting to order, please. Can I have someone motion to adopt the agenda? Councillor Martin. And seconder, Councillor Butler. All those in favor? Thank you, carried unanimously. So adoption of the minutes, the regular council meeting on February 26, 2024. The recommendation is before you. May someone make that motion? Thank you. Councillor Wilson, Councillor Benson, all those in favor? Thank you, carried unanimously. So we have two recommendations from our Governance and Operations Committee meeting to be considered for adoption. The first recommendation is that council approve the award of the 2024 Daniel Street Realignment Project contract to Mar West Industries in the amount of $2,674,486.27 plus all applicable taxes, fees, and charges. Councillor Benson, Councillor Martin, all those in favor? Thank you, carried unanimously. And the second recommendation is that council approve the award of the 2024 Data Center and Disaster Center Replacement Project contract to Opus Consulting Group for the replacement of core computer and storage equipment along with software and support in the amount of $336,337 plus all applicable taxes, fees, and charges. So make that motion, please. Councillor Martin, Councillor Wilson, all those in favor? Thank you. I see no one here for public question period. Is there anyone online? No? Okay, item number 6, communications. We have two proclamations tonight.
Nice.
And the first one is the Trail Smoke Eaters World Championship Teams Day. And the second one is World Primary Immune Deficiency Week. And the recommendation is that council proclaim March 12, 2024 as Trail Smoke Eaters World Championship Teams Day and April 22nd to 29th, 2024 as World Primary Immune Deficiency Week in the City of Trail. So Councillor Butler, thank you. Councillor Wilson, all those in favor? Thank you, carried unanimously. Item number 7 is bylaws. And we have a couple of zoning bylaws here, and I'll pass it over to Ms. Butler.
Thank you. Through the mayor, our first bylaw, 7.1, is the zoning amendment bylaw that we just had at our public hearing, where we heard from the applicant for a short-term rental. And we are providing a third reading for this bylaw. It will then have to go for Ministry of Transportation approval before we can do fourth. So we are waiting for that.
We did receive ministry preliminary approval today,
Yes.
so it should go ahead forward at the next meeting for adoption.
So that is our first one.
Okay, thank you. So the recommendation is before council. Is there any questions or comments before we? No? Okay, this is for the third reading. And can I have someone make that recommendation, please? Councillor Butler, Councillor Martin, all those in favor? Thank you, carried unanimously. And 7.2.
Thank you, through the mayor. Our next zoning amendment bylaw, we are requesting first, second, and third reading. This amendment bylaw is to allow for secondary suites We are getting a lot of people inquiring about putting in secondary suites with the new legislation that's coming down for our zoning bylaws. There's also a BC Housing Secondary Suite Incentive Program. This is a grant opportunity, and so people are inquiring about that. That grant opportunity closes April 17th, so people are looking to get this done. So before we actually rewrite our whole zoning bylaw, we're asking for this amendment consideration, and then it will be incorporated into the new bylaw when it comes in June.
Thank you, Ms. Westler. So the zoning amendment bylaw is for the first, second, and third reading. Councillor Benson, Councillor Cashel, all those in favor? Thank you, carried unanimously. On to council committee reports, and Councillor Jensen, you're first.
Thank you, Your Worship. On February 28th, I attended the Working Poverty Community Conversation. This engagement is part of the Building Community Resilience by Ending Working Poverty initiative that Trail was selected to participate in, along with 4 other communities throughout Canada. Councillor Wilson and I attended, and Mayor Jones was one of the facilitators. Working poverty refers to a situation in which households are employed but still do not earn enough income to cover their basic expenses, leaving them in a state of financial insecurity or poverty. In Trail, it was determined that the living wage is $21.55 an hour, so about $39,000 a year. The discussion was honest and tough to hear at times, and I want to thank everyone who attended for their vulnerability and openness. The End Working Poverty Initiative has very ambitious goals, including a 5% improvement in the financial well-being of the people working but living in poverty by the end of 3 years. They also want to produce successful strategies that we can easily share and adapt throughout Canada. On February 29th, along with the rest of council and Mayor Jones, I toured the new 9,000 square foot building that the Skills Center is renovating, and I'm really looking forward to seeing the final building. I would like to congratulate the Skills Center for a project very well run. And finally, on March 1st, I was invited to participate in the Extreme Heat Planning and BC Heat Alert and Response System Workshop by Dr. Sue Pollitt, along with Mayor Jones and Councillor Martin. The BC CDC and Interior Health have issued a new guidance based on data up to 2023 for supporting municipalities in planning and responding to extreme hot weather. There's no change to the definition that Dr. Pollitt gave us last year for heat warnings and extreme heat emergencies. An extreme heat warning is issued when 2 or more consecutive days of daytime maximum temperatures are expected to reach 35 degrees Celsius or warmer, and nighttime minimum temperatures are expected to fall to 18 degrees Celsius or warmer. And an extreme heat emergency is when warning criteria have been met that this forecast shows that the daily highs will substantially increase day over day for 3 or more consecutive days. So it was nice to see that they're on it so ahead of the heat, knowing the amount of work that even Interior Health and the city did to get the warming shelter set up. It's nice to see that we're hopefully months ahead of this. So that's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Benson. Any questions for Councillor Benson? No? Okay, Councillor Butler.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. I'll skip my report tonight just because so many of us are the same thing, so I'll have others.
Yeah.
Express. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Butler. Councillor Cashel.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. Yeah, I did attend on May 6th to the Trail District Library for a presentation on ageism and elder abuse. It was facilitated by Sandy McCrate, and I found it quite informative, quite interesting. Ageism is a term that I wasn't familiar with all the other isms that we have out there in the world, but ageism is a real legitimate concern, and it was a really an eye-opening seminar for me to attend, and has given me a little more insight into being able to identify it and being able to call people on it, because it is becoming more and more rampant in our society. And that concludes my report, Mayor Jones.
Thank you, Councillor Cashel. Councillor Hanson is away this evening, so I'll move on to Councillor Martin.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. On February 28th, I attended an RDKB Policy and Personnel Committee meeting in Trail. We reviewed changes to the RDKB website on how the public can engage with elected officials and which information can be shared publicly. We reviewed indemnity bylaws, the indemnity bylaw regarding immunity for elected officials, employees, volunteers, election officials, and members of a municipal committee. On February 28th, I attended a RDKB board meeting in Trail, reviewed various committee meeting minutes and a request for a temporary use permit in Area A, development variance permit in Area A, 2 floodplain exemptions in Area C, Christina Lake. Also on February 28th, I attended an RDKB East End Services Committee meeting in Trail. The discussion was on the new bus shelters, which we were talking about this afternoon with representatives from the regional district. In particular, information from a local company to provide the material for wooden shelters that some communities have chosen at a reduced cost. They're going to price out the material and cost to build them and bring that information back to the committee. We're still waiting for an updated cost of the metal shelters from the city of Trail. On February 29th, I attended another RDKB board meeting via Teams. We reviewed the 5-year financial plans for the Boundary Economic Development Service, Electoral Area D Rural Grand Forks Heritage Service, the Electoral Area E West Boundary Economic Development Service, Big White Solid Waste Service, and RDKB General Government Services. February 29th, with Mayor and Council, attended the walkthrough of the newly renovated Skills Center building, which is a great addition to the downtown core. On March 1st, with Mayor Jones and Councillor Benson via Teams, attended a meeting regarding the BC Heat Alert Response System. Councillor Benson has already spoke about that, so I won't go into detail. On March the 6th, an RDKB board meeting and town hall meeting in Big White. Board meeting, we approved and adopted numerous updated policies and bylaws. The town hall meeting, which was well attended by many local residents, provided information on the RDKB services provided to Big White, and then a somewhat heated discussion on the local transfer station regarding hours of operation and the need for a full-time attendant because of the illegal dumping of garbage and construction waste at the previously unattended site. That's it for my report.
Any questions for Councillor Martin? No, thank you, Councillor Martin. Councillor Wilson.
Thank you, Your Worship. On February the 28th, along with Councillor Benson and yourself, also attended the Skills Center workshop on ending working poverty. I found it very informative to connect with folks in our community to find out their day-to-day struggles, which unless you're in their shoes, you just might not know about them. So I'm hopeful there's a few things that we can take from there and work on those, which I know we've already touched on a little bit with transportation, bus shelters and things like that. So it was very thankful for the Skills Center to invite us to that. Look forward to the next one on that one. And then on the 29th, along with all of council and yourself, Your Worship, we attended the opening of the tour of the Skills Center, although I'm looking forward to the grand opening of it. So excited to see when that date will be. And that's my report.
Thank you, Councillor Wilson. Any questions? Okay. On to my report. Again, sounds like we've all been in the same places at the same time, so it's good again to see everyone out there. I just wanted to report on a few meetings that I attended in the last couple of weeks. The first one was the Local Leadership United meeting. And the Local Leadership United is a provincial project delivered through partnership between Community Action Initiative and the BC Centre for Disease Control. And it's aimed at supporting local governments address substance use and community overdose response. The purpose of this meeting was to report back on some of the key findings that they had from engagements with local governments and community overdose response partners across BC and partners also with the Ministry of Mental Health and Addictions and the Overdose Emergency Response Center. It was actually a very good meeting. They showed us an inhalation box and how the air is recirculated and sent back out into the atmosphere clean and clear of any drugs or anything in it. And because they know that smoking drugs now is, they would rather smoke than inject. And it actually is a safer way to use drugs, and we know that it is on the rise. And there's an urgent need for safe consumption sites. To include access for safe inhalation measures, and the information that was shared was really, really good. And there was a good question and answer period from everybody on the meeting, and they are hoping to do these meetings once a month now. And yeah, I'll be sharing that with council too. There's a really good report attached to it. Also, I wanted to congratulate the Skills Center on their beautiful building. There's just so much that I can see that building doing for our community. You know, it would be great to get the community kitchen up and running. But there's so many offices and opportunities and space where, you know, we can have board meetings and, you know, it's just a very welcoming space, and you're right, we should be congratulating them on such a beautiful building. I just wanted to also let council know that, you know, in the fall, there were some tours and events that happened that I couldn't be a part of because of my personal situation, but I did go back and meet with Sanctuary, and I got a tour of the center, and it was really, really nice to have Barbara Gibson, the executive director of Sanctuary, show me around. And the work that they do in there is amazing for the community too. And I know that Councillor Wilson has spoken about it before, that they're a licensed after-school program for children age 8 to 12. And it's for all children who need a safe and fun place to go to during non-school hours on weekdays. And it's a Sanctuary is a community-supported, organized nonprofit organization, and it's 100% free for children and their family. And they're open weekdays from 2:30 until 7:30 at night. And the reason they're open later at night is because a lot of the mothers or families that do have their children there work that extended hours, so they're lucky to have their children in a safe place until they can get to them. And they have been open since 1998, and they usually have about 50 children registered and 15 to 25 coming each day to have a snack and have dinner and just have a safe place to go. I also wanted to mention the Business After Business that Trail Chamber of Commerce put on. Was absolutely amazing. This time it was held at STAC, the Selkirk Technology Access Center in Mary, and it's a one-stop shop to access advanced manufacturing technologies. Really an amazing building. If you haven't been in there, you have to go there. Their 3D technology is just amazing, and the work that they can do. And they actually have a really good what's the word I'm looking for? When, you know, students can go up there and practice, they can do their practicum up there on the 3D technology. And it's just a really great center. I did not realize how big it was, how many rooms were in that building. Anyway, STAC is one of the 60 technology access center in Canada's, and one of the 3 located in BC. So over 50 business owners, community leaders across the region, and over a dozen students from the digital fabrication and design program access that program up there at that building. It was absolutely amazing, wonderful turnout. Yeah, it was just great to have that opportunity and to realize that that's in our community. I just thought it was amazing. So that's my report. I don't know if anybody has any questions for me on that, or no? Okay. Thank you everyone for continuing to be out there and supporting all these committees and groups that we're involved in. The next item on the agenda is the consent agenda, and it is the BC Association of Farmers Market, the nutrition coupon program. Councillor Benson.
Can I make a motion, can you discuss it?
Sorry?
Can we pull it out of consent for discussion?
I'm not sure.
Yes, you may,
Sorry, what was the question?
through the chair, she'd just like to pull it out to have discussion on.
Oh,
items
sure,
that have
yes,
just
thank you,
received.
Councilor Benson.
One of the, when we, at the working poverty, or ending working poverty, community conversation, we had to identify some of the, positives in our area, for the low income families, and the coupon program was highlighted at my table. And I see here on their, letter, their, request to send a letter of gratitude and support to the BC Minister of Health, and is hoping that we could direct staff to do this.
Okay, thank you. Is there a seconder for that motion? Councilor Wilson? All those in favor? Thank you. And the rest of the motion just will be received for information, okay? And can I have a motion for that, please? Councilor Martin? And Councilor Wilson, all those in favor? Thank you. And department reports. The bylaw enforcement department report for February 2024, and the recommendation is that it be received for information. Councilor Butler and Councilor Wilson. Thank you, carried unanimously. And the next item is adjournment. Councilor Wilson and Councilor Cashel. All those in favor? Thank you, carried unanimously.